We just finished about 3 minutes ago this wonderful dialogue with myself, Lori, Harville, and Helen. And we just had this great 2-minute conversation when the cameras went off, which I wanted to share with you as a kind of recapitulation, maybe an introduction to really what happened, because we had just this great realization. In some deep sense, Harville and Helen are reclaiming couplehood at this really higher level of consciousness. If you listen to their teaching, you could think, oh, this is the old insistence that you need to be in a couple, and if you're not in a couple, there's something wrong, and that's the only right way. They're actually saying something much, much, much deeper. They're saying in the old world, you had to choose couplehood. There was almost no choice. And because you had to choose it, it was almost by definition unconscious. It was forced, it was necessary for 1,000 reasons. But if you drop in deeper, after all the choices emerged, after divorce becomes a real and genuine option for at least half of the marriages, there's now a higher place we can get to, right? Level 1, couplehood's the only option. Level 2, couplehood's one of many options, and couples no longer have that kind of sacred space. Level 3 is the autonomous, free choosing of the space of couplehood, which is, right, the incarnation, the reflection of the essential dyad, paired, right, nature of reality. And that actually by choosing that freely, right, and choosing to commit to it, and going through the process of profound evolution of consciousness and evolution of love, which Harville and Helen are teaching. They're really teaching the evolution of couplehood, the evolution of what they call conscious couplehood, which is the evolution of love. Then you choose couplehood at a whole different level, and the whole notion of what it means to be a couple as the kind of gorgeous expression of the essential nature of reality itself, right, then becomes clear and just crystallizes, appears, glimmers, shimmers in a whole different way. Love itself has been evolved. And what Lori and I are talking about, right, is taking the notion of the individual, which, like the notion of couplehood, had become in some way pathologized. Right? The pathological individual, the individual was necessary, as Harville pointed out in the dialogue, to emerge from larger context in which the individual was only defined by the larger context, the church, the state. The individual needed to emerge. Luther needed to say, I can talk to God directly. But after the individual emerged, and we realized the irreducible nature of the individual then got lost, right, as a separate self. Right? The separate self individual then took over. Right? Then a kind of rampant, subtle, and not so subtle narcissism took over, in which the rights of the individual became the only thing that existed. And the notion of community didn't actually exist as an essence. Right? Communities in a social contract, right, were actually only formations that were created to ensure the rights of the individual. But the actual idea of interconnectivity was actually in Western thought, read out of the source code of Western thought, and that's what Harville and Helen are kind of bringing back in. Now, what we're saying, and we're saying something actually completely complementary, but entering from a different prism. So in the couplehood vision of Harville and Helen, the irreducibly unique and gorgeous individual is never lost. Right? As Helen said, there's always a wavicle. Right? What Lori and I are saying is, let's move beyond the pathologized individual, the ego self, the separate self, in which uniqueness is a function of conditioning. Right? The ego's conditioning. Let's move to kind of a realization of true self. I live in a larger context. I'm identified with, indivisible from, the seamless code of the universe. And then I realize I'm a unique self. I'm an irreducibly unique expression of that seamless code of the universe that's seamless but not featureless. And I'm its unique features. And uniqueness, by definition, implies connection. Uniqueness implies couplehood. Uniqueness says, I'm unique, I'm a puzzle piece, I'm in couplehood with you. And so the unique self-individual, who's an expression of essence, actually can't live in a pathologized, isolated, narcissistic, right, couplehood and move into isolation, much like the couple of Harville can't move into fusion. Right? Fusers and isolators, terms that Harville and Helen use right in the first book, Getting the Love You Want. So we're arguing for an evolution of couplehood and an evolution of self that then come together and form the blueprint of a larger ontology or of a new vision in the evolution of love. So enjoy it. Thank you.